Hello. This is probably the first time you're hearing me use my voice on this channel, and this is a pretty serious topic. We're discussing Whamitoba, who is a creator within the statistics community that makes videos relating to subscribers and views. As most of you know, because you all know him to a degree. As per usual though, he's not a nice individual, which is becoming a common theme within this community. In August 2023, Whamitoba became a rather suspicious individual to others when he made rather sexual jokes toward a 14-year-old Shadow the Devil when he was 17 years old himself. The age of consent in Canada is 16 years old, which makes this wrong. Even without the age of consent in the picture, this would be wrong, which is obvious. Whammy's jokes towards Shadow were consistent and creepy, even going as far to say as he's in love with Shadow and going as far to make a stupid video titled Why I Love Shadow the Devil. Pretty creepy, isn't it? Just to add to the creepiness, here's a screenshot of Whamitoba being 17 years old asking a 14-year-old me to do something rather weird. Now, let's jump all the way to August 2024 because this is where it really starts to involve me. Funny how it's a whole year later as well. Obvious Path decided to send a screenshot leaking a group chat where I sent a picture of a nearly naked female to my friends, which was put into my YouTube recommended, and I was simply showing YouTube was having a bad day, if you will, with its recommendations. I myself can admit the fault of not censoring, that's on me. But I didn't know Ziggy was 12 until after I got exposed because he kept it somewhat private. Whammy decided without getting my side of the story to put all of the information out into his stupid statistics report, which hundreds of people saw. Obvious Path also said try to keep me out of any screenshot, like how scared do you have to be to try and hide yourself as the informer, and then proceed to act neutral. Obvious Path, you are the biggest scumbag in this community and I think you know it. This entire drama is my biggest problem with Whamitoba because he didn't reach out to me for me to explain myself, but in fact he rathered blocking me when I reached out for him to take down the video because it's misinformation and nothing more than an attempt to take me down for nothing. Obvious Path also sent a screenshot of me and Faceless having friendly banter and tried to claim we're weird and not normal. Mate, every friend group has some sort of weirdness to it. I'm sorry you don't know what fun is, you egomaniac. Whamitoba apparently also reached out to Lean Stats to get confirmation if it was intentional, which is not true. Lean has already confirmed to me he has used poor choice of words, but that's besides the point. You ended up getting confirmation from an individual I rarely speak to. Great thinking there, dude. Not even a porn image, by the way. You went to any means necessary to make it as bad as possible. No female part was shown. I should also add they started conspiring behind my back to get me banned from Ivan's server because I guess that's just cool to do to people who have no knowledge on what's going on. You all wanted Faceless demoted so bad as well because apparently he's a Nazi according to you guys, which is fucking ridiculous. I expected better, to be honest. Whammy throwing me under the bus with the allegations of being a pedo is a bit hypocritical when he likes things called inklings, which I'm not too sure on, but all I know is that they are 13 to 14 years old and he's a legal adult himself. He also apparently switched genders and used it as an excuse to not look like a pedo. I don't know. I'll show the screenshot and maybe Shadow can answer this in the future if he wants to. This alone gives you the message on who Obvious Path and Whamitoba really are. Obvious Path is nothing more than an egotistical asshole who is so deep in his own business that he thinks the world revolves around him and his shitty server. You can also expect nothing more than a mental health barrier and false racism claims from Whamitoba because he really doesn't know what logic is apparently. Might I add that you lot need to stop using Ziggy and his age as a stepping stone for your stupid fucking claims against people. Get a fucking brain and stop using him as a one-up. On the 23rd of August, I learnt that Whamitoba had started a fight with Ziggy because Ziggy sent a gif as a joke aimed at Luna and Whamitoba took offense when it didn't even mention him at all. You said, how would I know that you were not talking to me? You didn't even use the reply feature, just stop being such a jerk towards me. When Ziggy obviously hadn't aimed it at you, you weren't even present. You felt the need to insert yourself as a victim to something that doesn't even involve you because you must have felt the need to try and push around Ziggy because he's younger than you. Ziggy told you to stop and what do? Tell him to leave you alone. That is honestly the stupidest fucking thing I've ever read. Ziggy told you to stop and you told him to leave you alone after you started it. I got word of this and immediately called you out for your bullshit in a community post on the 23rd because I wasn't going to let you push Ziggy around like that. We ended up joining your server to maybe open a chance to speak to you. Only 2 people out of the multiple people who joined told you to go fuck yourself like you claimed we all did. You removed them and honestly I do not blame you. But then I started civilly quote unquote debating you in which you were using no logic and trying to manipulate me by stating you didn't apologize for the previous drama because you wanted me to reach out first. After we went back and forth for 5 minutes, you banned me and my friend for spitting logic and claimed we raided your server, which is not true. The most impressive thing I find about this is how quick it can take you to twist something into your favor, and that's not a compliment, Whammy. It's pathetic. And if you attempt to respond to this and twist it instantly, it will only end up proving my point. After we were banned from the server, Terra attempted to make a group chat for us to talk it out and have it not go any more public. You instantly started off by lying and saying you really didn't have to send all your buddies to personally attack me to the point I can't be sane. We didn't attack you and we weren't sent by anyone. I'm also sorry if the server somehow hurt your sanity even though I was being civil, but you started this and I was just defending my friend. You can't go on the defensive after you started it. You continued the victim card by saying we sent you over the edge. Oh, and I forgot to add, the guy said he was going to off himself because of this drama and because of us, which is extremely silly. You continued to blast this narrative in the group chat by saying you'll happily off yourself if it makes us happy, and no, it doesn't make us happy. What it does do when you say this is make us think you're playing victim as a defense card because you realize you started this and you can't win your own battle. You left 2 times and it hadn't even been like 10 minutes. We added you back a 3rd time because I genuinely wanted to leave the room of opportunities entered open, but you barged in yelling at us to stop. I answered back and told you to logically stop with the fucking guilt tripping, and you just had to pull the card I just told you to stop doing. You said we harassed you when we're just defending our friend who is significantly younger than you. Pathetic. You're a coward, Whammy, and you really can't handle a fight where you lose because if you're on the losing end, then you're the victim. If the roles were reversed, you would be jumping with joy because you'd have leverage. After that, you decided to leave again, and the window to end the fighting closed officially because there's just no reasoning with a victim player. I ended up clapping back at this with another long community post. Go read it if you want, it'll remain up. I'm not going to silence everything like you did when you deleted your response post. You proceeded to respond with more and more bullshit, which you're good at spewing obviously. You attempted to say you needed a break from it all when the narrative is you started all of this. This is all on you because you couldn't keep your nose out of things and you couldn't verify your information. Obvious Path set up a debate on the same day, which I'll link in the description, and by the time the debate rolled around it went as planned. Except it didn't. You started spewing claims that Faceless was racist because he is British.
Oh yeah, and he also said that, I don't know where, I think this was in his server, he said that because you're British, you're racist.
Stupid, right? You also laid claim that you're the only indigenous stat creator and this is racism and harassment against you because you're indigenous.
Discriminatory against indigenous
Go
people.
on, when have I ever done
Is that because he's British, or is it just him?
Go on.
I'm the only one that's indigenous here, and I'm always getting.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Only indigenous person is that.
What do you mean I'm not indigenous?
You were stupid.
You're not
That's
the
blatant
only one.
racism
See,
right
you're
there.
trying to twist it. You're trying to twist it now. You're
You're
not
the one
slick,
that's trying
dude.
to twist it.
What do you mean?
No. We responded to you
so-
saying you're the
okay,
only indigenous here. You know what's funny about all of that, apart from being untrue, is that I myself am part indigenous, and so are many others, which immediately revokes your ridiculous claim, and it also proves you ran out of arguments and you obviously know we're right. But your sorry ego is just too big to accept defeat and end the drama. No. You have to keep it going. Even with the evidence, you tried to push your bad manipulative takes against us in the voice chat because you are so narcissistic, it's not even funny. After this debate a day later on the 25th, I was added to Terra's group, which included Whamitober, and he ended up apologizing, which I accepted because that's all I fucking wanted in the end. He claimed he would better himself and I wished that he would and wished him the best in this and genuinely felt relief that he stopped digging himself a deeper hole. But I was fooled. Whamitober ended up starting a drama with Faceless in the same GC while I was asleep not even 24 hours later over a drama tier list that included this one. A fucking tier list pissed him off. I must also add that Whamitober's apology to me was bullshit. He ended up asking Terra what he should even say, and he said this to Faceless, asking what he should say in the apology to him. If you do that, then it's not a genuine apology, is it? Apparently a tier list involving many other dramas is mentioning solely you, and it's an excuse to keep harassing you. This is what I mean when I call you a self-centered asshole, and I mean it. You called Faceless an asshole and told him to move on for making a tier list. How much lower can you get? Did you feel the need to start a fight again because you realized the spotlight wasn't on you anymore? You can't stop talking about me. It's a fucking tier list on dramas. It's not revolved around the one that just happened. I'm so sick of you making everything about you when it doesn't remotely involve you at all, and once again, with this as well, you told Faceless to quote-unquote fuck off after you started it, which is a common theme with you. You like to start the fight, but eventually you'll tell the person you started it with to go away or leave you alone. And then you had to mention disabilities. You claimed we enjoy bullying people with disabilities, which is ridiculous. The lengths you're willing to go to look like the victim is pathetic and scummy, and you seriously need to work on it. I responded to all this with a community post after learning you asked Terra what to say in your not so genuine apology to me, in which you ignored and avoided for some reason, which I find hilarious, by the way. Since then, all you've done is complain that we won't leave you alone even though you brought it onto yourself, which you need to own up to and admit. All of this brings me to right now, where I want to say to you deeply, Whammy, that you should genuinely take a huge break from the internet and get yourself together. Admit your wrongdoings and just have a break. I genuinely want you to better yourself and scrub yourself clean from all of this stuff and the negative reputation you've been building, because I don't want what's worse for people. Even if they're my quote-unquote enemy or whatever, I really do hope you improve yourself, man. An obvious path, stop being an obnoxious, egotistical prick. You act like your server is levels above everyone else's and you yourself is levels above when it's far from the truth. You need to fix that fucking ego and stop being a manipulative piece of shit. You're genuinely so insufferable, and playing both sides is not a smart idea. Stop always claiming to be neutral in drama when you're the guy feeding the drama on purpose to see it escalate. Maybe if you fixed all this, you'll be a likable guy. Now that I got that off my chest and all of this is done, I'm gonna let Faceless say what he wants to say and hope this is the end of this drama. Whammy-tober, I really hope you take my advice in the end into consideration. I do really want to see you improve and better yourself as a human and become, what do I say, likable feels a bit harsh, but trustable. Thank you.
I just want to first of all thank Rexter for letting me talk in here about Whammy-tober and his good friend, Obvious Path. Not really friend, but yeah. Alright, first of all, Whammy, I want to talk about your comments about Shadow and Rexter a year ago. There's screenshots in G20 of you saying to Rexter, unzip your pants to fuck me. He was 14 at the time, and you were 17, pretending to be 19, which is very creepy. Pretending that you're overage and making sexual jokes to a minor is extremely creepy as it is, but yeah. And then you've also made that video about Shadow saying that how much you love him and everything, when he was 14, and it did make him feel uncomfortable. And you were talking about splurging in your pants. I'm not even going to go into that. Alright, we've also got, with the Rexter drama, about the creep and paedophile allegations. Instead of going to Rexter, reaching out and asking if the allegations were true before making anything into a big deal, if you'd have done that, none of this would have happened and we'd all be in harmony right now. August 2024 would have been a good month for the stats community, but no, you decide to ask Lean Stats instead for confirmation about something which he wasn't involved in. He doesn't even talk to Rexter, really. Okay, and other things, starting dramas over a GIF. There was a GIF which was sent to you, which was sent on a group chat, and it didn't even, it wasn't replied to you or anything. It wasn't said towards you, it was said to someone else, and it was a joke. It was obviously a joke, but you had to insert yourself because you're a narcissistic prick. You had to insert yourself into the whole drama like you always do, because you think everything's around you. You're a self-centered arsehole, mate. Alright, and also, starting drama over a tier list. I made that tier list for fun, and you decide to just take it all out, just forget about anyone else being on there and making it seem like it's targeted at you, when everyone in the chat and everyone in the community knows that it isn't just about you. Because only a few videos on there were about you. There were more videos about Ivan on there than you, and Ivan didn't cry about it. You did. Alright, now onto the debate, the Obvious Path debate. You literally, every time that we tried to say something, you had no evidence to back up how we were harassing you at all. You just said that because you're apparently the only Indigenous creator in the stats community that that we were racist. When let me let you in on something here, which has already been mentioned by Rex in this video, but hey ho, who cares? Right, Rexter is part indigenous as well. So is Terra. And you called Terra a racist during that debate when he wasn't even involved. You called him a racist because you called him a racist towards indigenous people. And you also said that I was racist just because I was British, which is just wrong. I'm not racist. I don't hate any type of people because humans are human, am I right? But anyway, so yeah, just back up your ideas, mate, and piss off. Right, obvious path now. So, during the whole drama, you claimed to be neutral, but then we got hold of the J2 friend group chat. Oh no, Wamatoba friend group chat, and it's clear that whilst you were saying to us that they were going to be making an exposed video, you were actually the one supplying them the evidence. So you were telling me, trying to get me to trust you by saying, oh, they're making an exposed video, I'm just warning you about this. You were the one that was encouraging it and helping them do it. So yeah, nice one. Now, something that happened way more recently, Ziggy got hacked, didn't he? And you found that pretty amusing, didn't you? But then, what happened today? The 29th of August, 2024. What happened? Yeah, that's right, you got hacked. It wasn't so funny then, was it? Exactly. Right, and also, bigging up your server and everything, that's what you do, which is fair enough. You can promote your server and everything, but blatant lies about your server is just ridiculous, and blatant slandering over other servers is also ridiculous. Claiming that Stats Assembly start dramas and everything when your server declared war on Ivan's server, and you're claiming that you guys are the ones that stopped drama. We had to stop the drama ourselves. No, we had to stop that war ourselves. And also, not to mention, you can't swear in your server, which is fair enough. I can allow that because, you know, you want to appeal to a larger audience, which is fair enough. But also having slow mode constantly in every single chat, having restrictions on like any criticism against you or anything, it's like you're living in North Korea in that server. But yeah, anyway, thanks for letting me on here. Goodbye.